In the flood industry, we have been plagued with a lack of regulation, which has led to companies that don't necessarily have the right expertise going out and actually just doing a sales pitch, looking to sell product rather than really considering the site holistically or as well as they should. And I wanted to give an example. It's a real case study of actually why a flood survey is so important, because it was a property that had flood barriers fitted. Now, I'm not sure whether they'd actually sought advice or whether they'd obtained the barriers, but it's a really good case study of actually investing a bit of money in the flood survey initially could have saved this from happening. So if I draw the property, it was a really nice barn conversion. So we've got a property here and got doorways on the front and we've got doorways on the back as well. Now, so this is the property. So we'll write house here. Now the front garden was this side, driveway in was here, and actually at the back there was a beautiful courtyard. So if I draw the courtyard, and the courtyard had an opening into it. So if I shade the house in so it's obvious, what's the house? So we've got house and courtyard. Now, the occupants had spent time and money investing, and they'd had flood barriers fitted to the doorways here, and then they'd also had a flood barrier fitted to this courtyard, thinking that if they protected the courtyard, they didn't need to protect the back doors, and well, they'd protected the front doors. Oh, and there was actually a door here as well at the front of the property that they'd also got a flood barrier on. So to the untrained eye, it seemed like they were protected all round. However, the next time it rained heavily and water flowed down, the property still flooded, and so I was asked to investigate why. And it soon became apparent that there were drainage channels along the front of the property here, but also in the courtyard. So if I colour those in blue, it might be a bit more obvious. So they were drainage channels, so I'll write drainage. And then you'd obviously got things like your downpipes as well for the roof. And then you'd got manhole covers dotted around. Now, what we found actually had happened, and with a bit of water testing, we didn't even have to have a full CCTV survey initially to establish what had happened. Water was flowing into this area here, and they were relying on the fact they'd got these flood barriers to defend the property. But the drainage network was obviously connected, and no non-return valves had been fitted. So the water was flowing underneath the property from this drain here and then it filled the courtyard up with water. And these doors here were left completely exposed to water ingress, even though this courtyard they thought was defended. Now, with a qualified survey in advance, they should have either looked at actually where did these drains all connect and picked that up and positioned non-return valves correctly to stop that from happening, or these doorways also would have needed defending. Now, fortunately, with some water testing, we were able to work out where the drains ran. We did also recommend a CCTV drainage survey as a report output just to check. However, with some correctly placed non-return valves, the mitigation could have worked. And the non-return valves can be as little as £60. So actually spending some money to obtain the correct advice is so important. And that's one reason of why we recommend a flood survey as one of the most important parts of a project. Now, accept my terrible drawing. I'm sorry about it. It is a case of me being an engineer and not an architect. I'm not the best drawer, but hopefully it gives you a flavour of the fact that drainage connectivity is so important to consider. Now, we'll be doing more of these videos to help raise awareness of flood risk and things you should be considering, especially if you're looking to buy a property that might be in a flood risk area. So don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon to be notified of the next time we upload a video, and we'll all be better prepared that way for the future, especially with climate change. Thanks everyone, and see you soon.